don't like showing plants that I showed in the previous month, but this one has grown so much since last month that I just had to show it to you. If you don't want to see a plant you saw in last month's favorites video, just skip ahead. But I really needed to show you this. So remember this plant from last month, my Hoya latifolia Sarawak, and it did have a big leaf last month. It really did. But look at these new leaves. So I think this was the leaf I showed you last month, this massive leaf, huge, huge. Look at it next to my hand. And then, I don't know, in this short space of time, look at this massive new leaf that it has pushed out. I mean, that's what this plant does. It pushes out big leaves, but I just can't believe that it can get this big. I know that it can, but it's just so shocking to see just how big these leaves can get. Just how big. And these are some of the earlier leaves, and oh man. Look at the size of this. Man, they're huge. And I think they're just going to get even bigger. And I like to spray them with that orchid spray. I think that helps too. But anyways, you'd be glad to know that I've cleaned the tray here at the bottom. It was particularly gross and I couldn't put you through that and let you look at it again. So I washed it out and it's going to get refilled after this video, but I just needed to show this to you. This month, I thought I will do something a little bit different. I usually categorize my plants when I have a favorites video, but this month I decided I'm just going to show it to you. I don't have the brain capacity to categorize them today, so I'm just going to share them with you. And yes, just like last month, you seem to enjoy the Hoya themed favorites video, so I'm going to give you another one this month. So this month my Hoya have been doing particularly well. There are a few new ones in my collection, but I just thought I'd share some of them with you because I think you should see some beautiful plants. So let's start with this one. This is the Hoya DS70 or the Hoya Bertonier variegated. Oh my goodness. I've showed you this plant before and just look at it. The thing, it's just so adorable. I absolutely love the variegation on this, how much the variegation just takes over the majority of the leaf. And it's shocking to me how fast this plant is growing despite having so much variegation. But I think it's because as the leaves mature, if you look on the tippy top, the variegation sort of dulls a little bit, similarly to how a Jose Buono behaves. The variegation when the leaves are young is super bright, and when it hardens off, it sort of fades into sort of this muted green color, and that's what this plant does. So honestly, I would prefer if it stayed this bright variegated color. I would have preferred if it stayed this way, but that's okay. I think that's what helps the plant to grow even faster. And so yeah, I absolutely adore this plant. Look at the pinkish new leaves. Oh, it's so cute. I recently featured this plant. I hope this is focusing. I showed this picture on my Instagram. Oh my goodness. It's so adorable. It's so adorable. Today, I took this picture and shared it with you on my Instagram page. This plant is so nice. And it's super easy. If you're new to Hoya, this plant is starting to make its rounds. I found it at Home Depot. And recently, I've found that Home Depot has been selling plants for $1. If you haven't seen that video, click after this video, watch that video. Yeah, you may want to visit your local Home Depot because they've got plants for $1. No, this one was not for $1, but the prices were pretty good. It lives in my south-facing window. It gets some direct sunlight during the day, and it is a happy little thing. It's living in my DIY aeroid mix, and I just have it in this tiny little pot, still in the same pot that it came in. I just put it back into the pot. I took out the soil and I put it back into my mixture and put it back in there. And I just water it without being deliberate. I'm like, oh, it's been a sunny week. Here's some water. Oh, I think I haven't watered you in a while. Here's some water. This is one of my only Hoya that I water as if it were one of my regular plants. This is probably my only Hoya that I treat this way, and it tolerates it really well. All of my other Hoya, most of them are in self-watering pots, and if they're not, I want them to be in self-watering pots. But this just goes to show you how easy this Hoya is. You want something variegated and easy, this is the one for you. I definitely would recommend this one. It's super cute. I sort of regret not showing this plant to you when it was better looking. It was only one long leaf and I was too scared to cut it and propagate it because I'm still not good with propagating thin-leafed Hoya. But here we are, and I'm going to share it with you on camera. This is my Hoya Bella Leader Bois, or Leader, whatever way they pronounce it. I'll put the spelling on the screen. But this plant is, it's beautiful. I love that type of variegation. I love the color. I love the delicateness of the leaves of this plant. And just ignore this one. When I bought the Leader Bois, this was growing with it. So this is a Hoya Bella outer variegated, and this was with it. So I just, you know, why separate families? Just let them grow together. So I grew this plant and it became this super long leaf all by itself. Vine. It was a super long vine. I think I may have a picture of it, maybe not. And so I was very proud of myself. And it even had those tiny little peduncles. Can it focus? There we go. Look at this tiny little peduncle, the tiniest little thing. Yes. So I was so proud of it. It pushed out a peduncle and then it fell. It had an accident. It was a mess. I decided to chop it up. I chopped it into, I think the one long vine, I chopped 2 pieces. One piece, sadly, this morning, it just fell apart in my hands. I stuck it back in here in the pond and I touched it and all the leaves just fell apart. This is my challenge with thin-leafed Hoya. They drop leaves super easily when under stress, but they're on the faster growing side. So even before I chopped the plant, it started pushing out its own secondary vine. So as you can see, it branched off by itself. It has these 2 little cute little leaves here. And even after the disturbance of falling, I'm surprised that the main plant is fine. What fell apart was the cuttings that I made. And this is the little extra piece that I cut and put it in here. So hopefully that second piece will survive. But I was never a Hoya Bella lover. But after seeing this plant and growing it, oh man, I just see how beautiful they are. And I do recommend this plant if you have patience. They are a little bit more challenging, and I have lost an entire one of this plant. This is my second one. So yeah, tread lightly, tread carefully with this plant, but it's thirstier and it likes growing in pond. So I've kept mine in pond. But anyways, that's this plant. I just wanted to share it while it still looked good, because when it looked even better, I didn't share it. But I love it. Every day I come and I just take in the goodness of this plant. Let's talk about another plant that is hands down one of my favorite Hoya. I've shared this plant a lot on my channel. You would have seen it. And that's this one. This is my Hoya Silver Dollar. I will say that about a lot of plants because this is my favorite. Let me show it to you first. Let's take a peek. Let's just play some elevator music and just enjoy the leaves, the foliage. When I got it, I think I got it as 3 leaves, maybe 4. I think I've lost 2 of those. This was one of the original leaves. And what I like about this plant, so not what I like about it, the way this plant grows is that it will start with a super long bare vine with very wide, annoying internodal spacing. I know this is supposed to be a favorites video, but let's be real. These are the things that a Hoya do. This is part of their behavior. And what it will do is after pushing it out this very naked vine, it will then go back and start pushing out leaves at the nodes. What I like is even if, let's say, it pushes out maybe 2 leaves here and it's already gone on the vine, it will then later on decide, hey, why not have some more leaves? So can you see the little baby in the back here? It then will, activate older vines, like older nodes. So even if it has leaves already at the node, it'll be like, hey, let's have some more. Let's grow. And it'll do that. And I love that because you're never only looking for new growth at the end. There's new growth is always possible everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but along the vine, it will fill itself out. And I love plants that do that, so that you're not nervous about having bare spots if you lose a leaf, because the plant will by itself start pushing out new growth in bare areas. I like that. Yes, it will have the long empty vines, but as it continues to naturally push out new growth, it will, as you can see, this was once a bearish area, and now see, it's starting to fill itself out a little bit with these two new leaves here. And so I love this plant. I love it. And not forgetting the color, the beautiful, what do you even call this color? This sort of minty, but sort of like a lighter greenish mint color. I don't know how to call it, but I love it. I really do. This is its biggest leaf that I can never get over, just how huge and paddled this leaf is. And it's pushed out this vine, and on its own, it split. It divided the vine and pushed out 2 extra growth points. So it is going to be just fine. I love this plant. It's growing in my DIY potting mix. I have a video on how I make this mix on my Patreon channel. It seems to love it. I have it in a self-watering pot, and it's sitting directly into a south-facing window. I'm trying to get it to sun stress, but I think to get it to sun stress, I would need to put it under grow lights. And I'm really proud of it and how far it has come. It can be a slow grower in the beginning, but just be patient with it. Just be patient. It likes to push out roots and then set up its foliage. So just be patient with it. Always pray for flat mites just in case, and give it lots and lots and lots of light. Okay, so here's another plant that you would have seen recently in my tour of my plant room. So this is my new plant room. In case you missed that video, you may want to check it out. But I have a plant room / office. I realized that I showed mostly the planty areas of this space in the video. So I'm going to share a clip of the rest of the space where my desk is. That's where I work, and it has improved the quality of my work so much. I enjoy my work so much more being in a room with my plants. If you work from home, or even if you have an office, try to put more plants in there. I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner, but I enjoy my work so much more now, and I'm not going to cry talking about it, but I'm much happier this way. I'm not gonna cry on YouTube, never. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. This is one of the newest plants, actually the newest plant to join my collection. This is a Hoya compacta, Monaa Loa. Some of you have told me not to be scared of the Hoya compacta, and I very much was. And so I decided to, when I saw, like, there's this seller who I buy my Hoya from on Facebook Marketplace, she had this for sale, and I was like, sure, let's try it out. Let's be brave. I believe it is an inner variegation. So if I twist here, can you see that inner variegation there? She had another one for sale that had even more variegation, but that one already got sold before I got to it. And so far, I actually really like this plant. I do think it's very cute, very adorable. It is the most unique plant I have in my collection. I don't have anything like this. So yay, I'm very excited about it. How's the video going so far? If you like what you see, you can let me know by hitting the thumbs up button down below, and consider subscribing. It's free and it'll help you to easily access my videos in the future. Let's keep going. Okay, so 2 more plants to share with you, 2 more plants that I want to talk about this month. Plants that I've, been lingering and staring at a little bit. Let me grab them. I'm at it. I'm also going to put these away. The last 2 plants I'm going to talk about are over here. Ah, a beaut! Ah, so good looking, so good looking. This is my Hoya Wayti inner variegated. Can you guess where I bought this plant from? I got it from Home Depot. Yes, I got this beautiful thing at Home Depot. Can you imagine? Before, and they looked a bit crusty. These look nice. I never liked the Wayti. I never liked the long taco leaves. I'm more of like a round leaf kind of gal. I like those round leaves or more oval type leaves. Never liked it until I saw this at Home Depot, and I just found myself unable, physically unable to walk away from it. I literally saw it in the store, looked at it, picked it up, put it back down, walked out the doors to the parking lot, turned around, and went back in and got it. I just felt like I can't just leave it there. What if someone who doesn't realize how beautiful this is picks it up and doesn't take care of it? That's what I tell myself. The point is that this is beautiful. This plant is beautiful. And since I put it under my grow lights, it has become even more beautiful. I will let you know that it is slow growing. It is not by any means a fast growing Hoya, but at least it's pretty. I'm gonna try not to make a mess. What I love is how it sun stresses. So I'm gonna get you to see every cute little bit of this. I love how either the newer leaves will have this pinkish hair, and as it sun stresses, it will get this pinky purplish look to it. I really enjoy that about it. And look at this pink leaf right here. I'm trying not to make a mess. Look at this random pinkish leaf right here. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, look at this. What is this? This light pink, this baby pink. Isn't that unusual? Absolutely no green to it. Just a purely variegated leaf, but not white, still pink. I must say I slept on this plant. I just did not realize how beautiful this plant was. I do need to cut it and stick it back in, but I just want to wait until it is fuller. I want to wait until it has more vines. It does have sort of aerial roots here. So if you look, it has those little roots sticking out in the back here, the aerial roots. So I do think that it's not going to be too hard to propagate. Those roots will sort of move along quickly, but because it's so slow growing, you know, I don't want to chop off anything off of it as yet. And last but not least is a plant that I never thought would ever make it to one of my favorites lists. Like in terms of like my monthly favorites, like I would tell you that I love this plant, but I never thought that this plant would ever be a plant that's performing well for me in the month to the point that I want to share it with you. That is my Hoya Hokiliana in a variegated. Look at this. Look at this plant. I mean, it's not that big. Let's be real. There are lots of much bigger, more established Hokilianas on YouTube. I'm very well aware of that. But for me, I'm celebrating because if you've been here a while, you know my struggle with the Hokilianas. You know. So just to get to this point is a big deal to me. It's a big deal. And what I love even more so about this one is how big the leaves are. I have another Hokiliana. Let me get it. Let me just get it and show you what I mean. Needless to say, this Hokiliana is a lot younger than the other one. So this could be the reason why, but the leaves on this Hokiliana are a little bit smaller than the leaves on this other one. I remember when I first saw this one, I remember thinking, oh, which one? Was it? I think when I first saw this one, I remember thinking to myself, oh, the leaves on this actually, they look different. I don't have to explain it. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Can you see the differences that I'm talking about? Like, yes, the leaves on this one are bigger, but it could be because they're more mature, but just these ones just feel more narrow and these ones just feel more broad. They feel a lot broader. And I think I have seen people with these in their collection, but it could just be because this is juvenile, because this is younger, the leaves are so much smaller. But as it gets older, the leaves might get bigger. It could be a light thing. But anyways, I'm trying to tell you that I'm happy with this plant and how well it's doing. We've seen lots of Hokilianas, so there's not a whole lot for me to say. But those pink, these new leaves and how pink they look when they emerge, I love that. And I just love the fullness of this plant. I love the tendril. And when Hokilianas get established, they start to grow a little bit faster. And I appreciate that because I remember waiting months and months and months for a Hokiliana to do something. And I do think the grow lights are helping. It looks like it's trying to sun stress just a little bit, this leaf right here, trying to do a little something, a little something. Yeah, these ones here. Can you see? Just a little bit of stressing, just a tiny bit. But yeah, I'm very proud of this plant and how far it has come. And the backs, I think I find myself staring at the backs of this plant a lot. So the backs of the leaves, some of the other Hoya have this too. They have sort of this painted striped look to them. Oh, they have a design of their own. Oh, I really appreciate this Hoya, and it's small. A lot of them are small, but this is my collection, and this is how far I've come. I'm very excited. I'm proud of myself. I started collecting Hoya, I would say, in January of this year, so it's been about 10 months. So I'm very excited of how far they've come, especially the Hokiliana, because of how many times I've messed up this plant. Not this one specifically. This is like a new one that I bought. I think maybe in the spring, maybe in June. This is the one I think I got from Crystal Star Nursery. I'm very happy. And that's it for today. I just wanted to share with you some of my favorite Hoya of the month, plants that are doing really well and plants that are making my heart full. Please share with me down below which plants are your favorite for the month and if there are any Hoya or any other plants you think I should look out for. Because based on your recommendation, I got the compacta and I really like it. I think it's adorable and I'm excited. I feel a lot braver now. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you like this one, I think you may like some of the other videos on my channel, and you can subscribe by clicking on the picture of my big head. Thanks for watching. See you next time. But before we go, I just want to also give a special thanks to our channel Patreons. There's Rachel in the Diamond Falls tier and Lainey in the Pigeon Island tier.